Hi, good morning. Today we are going to start our next session, geometric constructions. Okay, in this first we have to discuss what do you mean by a constructible number. Now moving to definition, a real number alpha is said to be constructible if we can construct a line segment of length mod alpha, okay, in a finite number of steps from a given line segment of unit length by using a straight edge and a compass. Okay, if you have a given a scale and a compass and a given a unit length, if it is possible to construct a line segment of length mod alpha, then we call the number alpha is constructible. Okay, once again, a real number alpha is said to be constructible if we can construct a line segment of length mod alpha. We have given a straight scale, okay, and a compass, okay, and a unit length. Okay, this is our unit. Suppose this is our unit length. Using this straight edge and a compass, you can evaluate this is one. And if you add one more thing here you can put this as, then it is of unit length 2. That means the number 2 is constructible. Similarly, a real number alpha is constructible. We can construct a line segment of length mod alpha in a finite number of steps from a given line segment of unit length by using straight edge and a compass. Okay. Now moving to next theorem. The theorem says that if alpha and beta are constructible numbers, then alpha plus beta, alpha minus beta, alpha into beta and alpha by beta if beta not equal to 0, then so on. That means these are constructible. Alpha plus beta, alpha minus beta, alpha beta and alpha by beta are constructible. Okay, alpha by beta is constructible if beta not equal to 0. So given that alpha and beta are constructible. So there are line segment of length by the definition of constructible length, mod alpha and mod beta available to us. Okay. For alpha comma beta greater than 0, extend a line segment uh, of length mod alpha. Okay. With a straight edge. Okay. Then at one end of the original line segment of length alpha and lay off on the extension of the length beta with the compass. That means here. Here we have a length, this is of alpha length. This is the alpha constructible, therefore we can construct this one. And here we are putting compass and we know what is beta. Okay, so length beta, you take length beta in compass and then put compass needle here, then draw here. Okay, length beta. So this entire is of length alpha plus beta. Usual geometry. Okay, this construct a line segment of length alpha plus beta. Similarly, what we have to prove alpha minus beta. To prove alpha minus beta, what we have to construct? We know what is alpha. Okay. So, also already you mark alpha and alpha is this one. Then yes, you have to find alpha minus beta. Alpha minus beta is obtained if we remove beta from alpha. So as beta is constructible, we know the length of beta. So in compass, you take the distance of beta and put compass needle here and the length beta. Okay, so this is of length beta. That means this is of length alpha minus beta. Okay, so once beta is constructible and alpha is constructible, then clearly we get alpha minus beta. Therefore, alpha minus beta is also constructible. Okay, so if alpha and beta are both no positive, an obvious breakdown in the case according to their segment shows alpha plus beta and alpha minus beta are still constructible. Okay, positive. If it is positive, if both are positive, then alpha plus beta. If sum is beta, suppose beta is negative, alpha plus beta is same as alpha minus beta. Okay. Okay. Now next is how we can construct alpha beta. Okay. This is the product. Next is construction of alpha beta. For this, we already know the line segment of length alpha and beta. Okay, so for this we are drawing a line. Okay, OA, and mark the length of OA is mod alpha. Okay, draw a line segment OA. Now what we are doing is draw another line through O other than OA. Okay, draw another line, okay, which is not passing through A. So this line is L. Okay, so let OA be a line segment from O to the point A, and we shall let modulus of OA be the length of its line segment. If OA is of length mod alpha, construct a line L through O not containing the line segment OA. Okay, perhaps if O is at 0, 0 and A is at A 0, you use the line through OA and 4. Suppose this is some, this A is at some 2, 0. You use the line through 0, 0 and 4, 2. Okay. Then find a point P and B on L such that OP is of length 1 and OB is of length beta. So what we are doing is on L you mark 2 points P and B such that OP is of length 1 and OB is of length mod beta. Okay. Now what is our next? So draw PA and draw PA. Okay, P, and then line draw PA. Now what we are going to do next is construct a line L dash through P parallel to PA and intersecting OA extended at Q. So what we are doing next is we are extending this just to draw a line. Okay, and then already we have draw PA. Then draw a line L dash through B which is parallel to P. We have straight edge and compass. We can easily draw a line parallel to PA. So draw L dash through B parallel to PA. And this L dash meet the extended OA at Q. Okay, this L dash meet the extended OA at Q. Now what happened? Now by similar triangle, which are the similar triangle? We have this, if you consider this triangle and this triangle, we have this triangle OPA and triangle OBQ. These are so two sides, okay, and angle are same. Therefore, these are similar triangle. Therefore, you can easily say that 1 by mod alpha or OP by OA is equal to OB by OQ. Okay. Therefore, 1 by mod alpha is 1 by mod alpha is same as mod beta by mod OQ. OQ. So what is mod OQ? Mod OQ is mod alpha into mod beta. Mod alpha into mod beta is mod alpha beta. So OQ is of length alpha beta. And here we get OQ using straight edge and compass. So that means we can construct mod alpha beta using straight edge and compass. That means alpha beta is constructible. So OQ is of length mod alpha beta. This implies alpha beta is constructible. Okay. Now moving to next is alpha by beta if beta not equal to 0. Okay, same as in the previous case. Let OA be of length mod alpha and construct a line L through O not containing OA. Then find B and P on L such that OB is of length beta and OP is of length 1. Okay, same manner. Then again by, okay, draw BA and draw BA. Okay, so in this case, what we are earlier we draw PA. Now we are drawing BA. Okay, then draw a line L dash through P parallel to BA and which intersect at here Q. Okay, so parallel to BA and intersect. Now again by similar triangle properties, what we get? 1 by OQ is equal to OB by OA. 1 by OQ is equal to what is OB mod beta, what is OA mod alpha. And if you take mod OQ, this is OQ, mod OQ, and this is equal to mod alpha by mod beta, and this is same as mod alpha by beta. Okay. So that means OQ is of length alpha by beta. This implies alpha by beta is constructible if beta not equal to 0. Now there is a one corollary. The set of all constructible real numbers form a subfield F of field of real numbers. So last time this asked for exam and the answer for this is you have to prove alpha plus beta constructible, alpha minus beta constructible, alpha beta is constructible and alpha by beta is constructible. To prove why we have to prove this set of all constructible numbers form a subfield. Okay, as it is a subset of real numbers, it satisfies all the axiom like commutativity, associativity, etc. like this. Okay. And we have to prove whether operation is closed. Alpha plus beta is here and inverse exists. Alpha minus beta you can easily say. Okay. Also alpha by beta and alpha by beta inverse. Okay. So set of all constructible numbers form a subfield F of the field of real numbers. Clear? So it's closed under addition by alpha plus beta constructible. It is closed under multiplication by alpha beta constructible, and inverse exists by this property alpha minus beta exists, and inverse multiplicative inverse exists for non-zero numbers using this property alpha by beta constructible. So if there is a question, prove that set of all constructible real numbers form a subfield of real numbers, you have to answer these. Okay, this theorem. Okay. So now moving to next. The field F of constructible real numbers constitute precisely of all real numbers that we can obtain from Q. Theorem says that consists of all real number that we can obtain from Q by taking square roots of a positive numbers a finite number of times and applying finite number of field operations. Real number or real number that we can obtain from Q by taking square roots of a positive number in a finite number of times. Okay, that is we have to prove square roots of a positive number in a finite and applying finite number of field operation. This is what we have to prove. Okay, so what we are going to prove is you have to take a we have to consider constructible number, and we have to prove this constructible number is obtained by taking square root of a positive number, square root of a positive number in infinite number of times, and apply finite number of field operation. Okay, so we have shown that f can obtain no number except those that we obtain from q by taking finite number of square roots of a positive number and applying finite number of field of operation. So if to apply this square root, to apply this square root, first we have to prove if alpha is any rational number, we have to prove this. Once we prove root alpha is constructible, then only we can prove all these. If once we prove root alpha is constructible, then root of root alpha is constructible, because if alpha is a constructible number, then if root alpha is constructible, then root of root alpha is again constructible. So the aim is, first we have to prove alpha. If alpha is constructible, then root alpha is constructible. Okay, so once we prove this, if alpha is constructible and root alpha is constructible, that means root of root alpha is constructible. And if you add any or any operation, any field operation, then this is again constructible, because we already know if alpha constructible and beta constructible, alpha plus beta constructible, alpha beta is constructible, etc. So first we have to prove root alpha is constructible. Once we prove root alpha is constructible, then any constructible real numbers you can derive like this. Okay, so we have shown f can contain no number except those we obtain from q by taking finite number of square root of a positive number and applying a finite number of field operation. However, if alpha is greater than 0 is constructible, then this figure shows that root alpha is constructible. We will move to the proof. Let OA be of length alpha and find P on OA extended so that OP has length 1. So OA has, this is OA and this is of length OA, alpha, mod alpha, and as we can extend this, and find, mark a point P such that OP is of length 1. Then find a midpoint of PA and draw a semicircle with PA as diameter. So now what we are doing is find midpoint of AP. Okay. Then draw a semicircle. Okay. With PA as diameter. Now erect a perpendicular to PA at O. So we draw a semicircle. Now at O we are draw a perpendicular. Okay, and it meet at Q. Okay, so intersecting semicircle at Q, then the triangle OPQ and OQA are similar. OPQ and OAQ are similar. OQA, OQA, O and similar triangle. So mod OQ by mod OA equal to mod OP by mod OQ. And the similar, what is mod OQ? Mod OQ is, we don't know. Mod OA is alpha. Mod OP is 1. Mod OQ, we don't know. So mod OQ, from this mod OQ square equal to 1 into alpha, and which is equal to alpha. Therefore mod OQ is of length root alpha. Therefore square root of a constructible numbers are constructible. Okay. So, what we have proved? We have proved if alpha is constructible, then root alpha is constructible. So, if root alpha is constructible, root of root alpha is constructible. If you do any field operation, then that is also constructible. So, each constructible number, if you apply this property, then we get every constructible numbers is actually a obtained from Q by taking square root of a positive number in a finite number of times and applying finite number of field operations. Okay. So now there is a last corollary. If R is if gamma is constructible and gamma not equal to 0, this is very important corollary. Okay. If gamma is constructible and gamma not equal to 0, then there is a finite sequence of real numbers alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n, which is equal to gamma, such that q of alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha I is an extension of q of alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha I minus 1 of degree 2. In particular, q of gamma over q, degree of q of gamma over q is equal to 2 raised to r for some integer r greater than or equal to 0. Now moving to the proof, existence of alpha is immediate from the theorem. That is, if gamma is not equal to 0, then gamma is a constructible number. Okay. And if gamma is constructible, then gamma is obtained from Q by taking a finite number of square roots of a positive number and applying finite number of field operation. Okay, let alpha belongs to Q be a positive number and let alpha 1 is equal to root alpha. Then irreducible of alpha 1 over Q is equal to x square minus alpha. Therefore, degree of alpha 1 over Q is equal to 2. Then Q of alpha 1 is a finite extension of Q. Thus, Q of alpha 1, degree of Q of alpha 1 over Q equal to 2. Now, let alpha 2 equal to root of alpha 1. Then irreducible of alpha 2 over Q of alpha 1 is x square minus alpha 1. Okay, this is actually x square minus, okay, alpha 2 is root alpha 1. Therefore, if alpha 2 square means alpha 1. Okay. Reducible of q of alpha 1 is equal to x square minus alpha 1. Therefore, degree of alpha 2 over q of alpha 1 is 2. Clear once again. Irreducible of alpha 1 over q is alpha 1 is root alpha. If you consider the polynomial x square minus alpha, then if you replace x square by alpha 1 square, then alpha 1 square minus alpha equal to alpha 1 square is alpha minus alpha, which is equal to 0. Therefore, irreducible of alpha 1 over q is x square minus alpha. Similarly, irreducible of alpha 2 over q of alpha 1 is x square minus alpha. And degree is 2. This implies q of alpha 1 alpha 2 over q of alpha 1 is 2. Proceeding like this, we get q less than or equal to q of alpha 1 subfield of q of alpha 1 alpha 2 subfield of q of alpha 1 alpha 2 etc. alpha n. And q of alpha 1 alpha 2 etc. alpha n over degree of q of alpha 1 alpha 2 etc. alpha n over q of alpha 1 alpha 2 etc. alpha n minus 1 is equal to 2. Now applying the same procedure. Earlier we have discussed degree of q of alpha 1 alpha 2 etc. alpha n over q is equal to 2 2 2 etc. Okay, therefore q of alpha 1 alpha 2 etc. alpha n over q is equal to 2 etc. n times, which is equal to 2 raised to n. Therefore, q of alpha 1 alpha 2 etc. alpha n over q is equal to q of alpha 1 alpha 2 etc. q of alpha n and q of alpha n over q. Okay. Now this implies 2 raised to n is equal to q of alpha 1 alpha 2 etc. alpha n over q of gamma. In this q of alpha n you can replace as gamma and q of gamma over q. Therefore, q of gamma over q must be a multiple of this product. Okay, and this is actually equal to 2 raised to r. For some r greater, this is a power of 2. Okay, therefore each must be a power of 2. Therefore, q of gamma over q must be a power of 2. That's equal to 2 raised to r. For some r greater than or equal to 0. Now the result, let Q is a subset of Fn is a subset of F2 etc. subset of Fn, and of Qa over Q into Fn over Q of A equal to degree of Fn over Q. Okay, because you can write this as Fn over Qa into degree of, you can write this as, you can write this as Fn over Q A into QA over Q, and this implies Fn over Q. Okay, Fn over Q, and let gamma equal to alpha n, and a gamma belongs to Q of alpha n. Let gamma belongs to alpha n implies then gamma clearly belongs to Q of alpha n, which is equal to Q of gamma. Therefore, alpha n belongs to Q of alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. Alpha n implies gamma belongs to Q of alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. Alpha n. Replace Fn by Q of alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. Alpha n, and QA by Q of gamma, then Q of alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n over Q equal to this. Using this result, we are using this result here. Okay, that's all for today's class.